And that's all I need to do. And then that's it. So that's Tanya is going to get... James and Nick, you're Nick. I'm terrible with names and faces. I'll always remember your face, but I'm never going to remember your name for
That's all right.
ages.
You just call me my character name. That's easier.
I'm going to put...
I've played with people that I've never known their real name. I've just I've just known their character name. So
Yeah, no, I'm awful. Well, I mean, the last campaign I ran was possibly about 6 years long. So,
goodness,
we
that'd be
did...
impressive not to get the names right by the end of it.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I did have one. We were playing online because we were all over the country, but a couple of them sort of lived in the same place. I was the odd one out down here, and we had a get together for the final session, which was about a 10-hour slog, I think it was in total,
Holy smokes!
to do the final sort of bit. And I did have one brain fart. We all met in Oxford, and I drove up there. So that's already a 4-hour trip. And then having to run that sort of length of final episode or session, I had a massive brain fart. I was just sat there looking at them all going,
You'd only known them for 6 years at that point. All right, well,
yeah, I
yeah,
know.
fair enough. That's pretty bad, isn't it?
It was a hell of a day, mind. It was, I think we started playing at about 12, and like I said, we weren't done until 10 o'clock. So,
Goodness,
and I left Cornwall at 8 o'clock. So, it was a day. It was a day.
long day.
A very long day indeed. So as I said, I'm recording this for Tanya's benefit, but I will put it on YouTube. So if you guys want to refer
Hello,
back to
Tanya. Get well soon.
hello Tanya. Yes, we hope you are well soon.
Yeah, get well soon, Tanya.
So session 0, we can cover character creation for the main campaign. Obviously, there's a few little things I want to tell you about the main campaign, but I don't want to give too much away. We have the prologue. I'm doing a prologue because I learned in my last campaign there was history sort of things which fairly early on could have just been explained better.
Okay.
Things that there was like I went a couple of 100 years previous. There was, a pre-existing war and all that sort of stuff, and the characters didn't really know much about that. It was my first big campaign, so there were a few things which I felt like I could do better next time. And so this time, prologue, learn a little bit of history by playing the history, and then the main campaign. So although your characters may not know, you as players will know, and you can translate that into, well, my character might know this or that because perhaps they're savvy on their history, or they know their particular tribe's history or something like that. And how it all relates into the world. So the main campaign's world is one not of much magic. Magic is restricted. Magic still is there, but it's restricted. I won't tell you why, because that's covered in the prologue. What you will know as characters is that if you play a magic user, you will have most certainly attended a college.
All right.
Linked to your sort of specific class. So, for example, paladins and clerics would have probably been taken away to be educated by the Brotherhood of Light. Not probably very imaginatively named. The College of Wizarding and Arcana is for wizards and sorcerers. Druids and rangers probably taken in by the Way of the Leaf. And very sort of Witcher style, like magic users are sort of sought out and collected together and stuck into colleges.
It's always a good idea to have a room full of people that can cast fireballs.
Exactly. However, the darker side of things, so Death Domain clerics, for example, warlocks, necromancers, are very much shunned in society, cast away, and have thusly created their own sort of underground colleges
Right.
to train, people of that nature in whatever school they want to take on. again, reasons for this will become clear in the prologue. Elves are very much for this segregation, but there are groups of elves who are not elves. As I think I said in the chat, I'm very much a fan of Tolkien, and I know wizards tend to view elves as being long-lived. I prefer the whole long-lived / immortal sort of style, where an elf can, live in eternity. And for that reason, elves, if you are planning on playing an elf, you're probably going to know a lot of the history of the world, and therefore you can choose to go, actually, my character didn't attend a college because they liked the more traditional route and stuck with their own kind and all that kind of stuff. In which case, I have further information on that for you. But just to sort of touch on it, for example, druidic elves, though they might stick to the same circles as a college individual, as a druid, they've probably stuck to it in their own tribal manner, and therefore do not have certification. And this is the main thing, certification in the world. Much like a policeman or a soldier has potentially the right to use a weapon in public, you or I do not. And that's the sort of thing. Someone who is a certified paladin or a certified, wizard can use this sort of their abilities not freely in the open, but in the open more so than someone who's hidden it from society. So just considerations when you're making your character. There are those kind of like societal restrictions in place, and it just affects the RP. You could go, well, I don't really care much for that. I'm playing a wizard who's just sort of learnt from books and never went to a college, and that's fine. It just means when the RP sections come, or RP comes up, it's just like, well, you're going to have to downplay that, or you certainly be like more sleight of hand checks to get away with casting something to find something out, for example.
Explain why you haven't got your wizard license on you.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's not as if you're going into a town and they're stood there with some sort of like sensor that goes, he has magic. It's not like that. It's just if you're caught using it and they're like, oh, hang on a minute, you should know better than that.
Okay.
But the reasons will become clear from the prologue. Plus, I don't want to give that away too much. Of course, so that's the colleges of the world, really, factions, if you want to call them that. There's of course guilds and such. But I'll let you fire away. What do you want to? What would you like to talk about?
I was going to go for Star Druid, but I might change my mind.
Don't let it influence
you. Campaign, James, or for the prologue? Are we mainly talking about the main campaign? Are we?
This is notes for the main campaign. With regards to the prologue, absolutely just whatever you want. There's no hold bars. You can, and of course, there's no holds barred with the main campaign either. Do what you like, but just bear in mind with the main campaign there are those little like societal niggles which you might go, that could be a pain in the ass. But yeah.
We on the main campaign. We start at level 1, or
I was considering starting at a higher level, but I think I'm gonna go level 1.
Okay. Nice.
Because we'll see. It depends on what people decide to play. If the majority of the group is spellcasters and everyone goes, yeah, actually, I probably attended a college, then we'll start a higher level to reflect that. Because you wouldn't necessarily be a level 1 spellcaster, for example, if you've been schooled. But it depends on very much what people want to create.
I haven't played a rogue for a while. Maybe a rogue. Or I always like wizards. I'm also happy to be a cleric if we need a cleric.
Yeah, without Tanya, I don't know what Tanya wanted to play, and I certainly don't know. Hello, I certainly don't know I think there was Matt as well that was in the group, but he's gone very quiet, so I don't know what's going on with him. Yeah, I mean, again, yeah, whatever you fancy. Anyone that takes up like a more martial approach, like a rogue, someone like that, who doesn't have arcane ability, you have literally no restrictions in terms of colleges. Why would you? You're not potentially a worry in the world. So yeah, and again, like I say, if you went warlock, then you wouldn't have been schooled. Potentially, you could have slipped under the radar.
Well, it's all new to me. These newfangled warlock types. They've got made some pacts with an outer planar thing, have they? Is that a warlock?
Yeah, you tend to take up a pact with other planar beings. But that can be homebrewed again to suit whatever you fancy.
A great idea to me. But I generally don't trust outer planar entities. Whatever. I suppose a druid and a cleric we probably don't need. Or are you thinking of something else now, James? Or...
Probably, I'm gonna have a look. The Star Druid went for me because I'm starting an astronomy course in October.
Oh
So that
wow!
kind of
Oh, that's cool.
went into that, but yeah, I can look into.
What's
A little bit.
what sort of level? I know you said you were fairly new to the game, so what sort of level of like playing what have you played or?
I've only had one campaign, and that was a Law Bard, and I only got that to level 8, and then the DM flaked. So
It depends. I mean, it depends on what you're comfortable with. I mean, magic users aren't too difficult. They seem quite difficult on the surface to get your head around at times.
yeah,
I know when I first started playing, I was like, oh my god, I'm never playing a magic user. But actually, they aren't too difficult.
I didn't struggle with the Bard at all.
Yeah, they're one of the more complex ones, aren't they? So
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
if you
absolutely.
wrangle a bard, you'd be fine.
I mean, I've played personally. What have I played? I've played a rogue ranger, I've played a wizard, and I've played a paladin. And actually, the wizard was the easiest one to play because all you're doing is like managing spell slots, and that's it.
Did like the idea of a monk as well.
Monks, I think, are a bit more complicated. I've never played a monk. I did have in my last campaign one guy that went monk, and it did sound more complicated. Having not played one, I'm not entirely sure. It did sound almost like a more martial form of the sorcerer, where you've got key points
they're
and
sort
sorcery
of like
points.
a magic user, but
Yeah, that's
they
right.
punch people.
Yeah. They use the key point system instead of sorcerer points, and it's it's very similar.
Fun, though.
They are fun. They are fun. But this is
Watch that Bruce Lee film.
yeah. And one thing I always say to people I'm playing with is just I've got a lot of DM experience. I know the majority of the rules. I don't know them all off by hand, and there might be an occasion while we're playing, I'm not going to stop the game and go, hold on, let me look that up. I'm just going to do it off the cuff. If I can sort of roughly go, yeah, I think that sounds right, we'll do that. And then I might look it up afterwards and go, retcon, it would have gone this way, but we've done it, so next time we'll know. And
As long as we have fun, it doesn't.
as long as you're having fun, that's the main thing. But this is where I was going with. I don't know exactly what every single class can do or all the racial abilities because there's too many. I do fall back on you guys to go, well, if you're going to play that class, learn it, know it, and I might go, oh, please do tell me what that does. But, I think it's only fair in the end of the day. I mean, I can't know everything.
You're GM, you should know everything. No,
Yeah. I'm not Matt Mercer.
He doesn't know everything either.
No, that's true. That is true.
But what are the rules on multi-classing?
I think you have to reach level 5 off the top of my head.
Like your rules. You okay with multi-classing?
You can multi-class, but you still need to reach the base prerequisites first.
I'm a bit fuzzy on fifth edition. Is it the same as third, where you just pick a level in a different class when you go up?
So once you
that how
hit the base class, it's either 3 or 5. I'm swaying towards level 5 before you can multi-class, but it could be 3. But basically, once you've hit, let's say level 3, when I go, right, you've leveled up, if that's the prerequisite for multi-classing, you can then go, well, let's say, for example, when I had my rogue and I wanted to make them part ranger as well, I went, okay, I'm stopping in level rogue and I'm now going to start level 1 ranger. So you could level 3 rogue, but then you'd start level 1 ranger. And then you can just level up whichever one you want next level, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like third, yeah. It was way more complicated early on. That sounds makes much more sense to me.
Yeah. Whatever you pick second hand starts at 1, and then you just decide each level up where you put those attribute points, if you want to call it that. But yeah, multi-classing, absolutely fine. You can do that. No problem at all.
Perfect. Quite a bit to think on.
I was slightly hankering, actually, just for a basic fighter. I don't play them very often because I used to think they're boring, but I'm getting old now.
Do you know what, though?
Maybe that would be the easiest thing.
I think I said last night, one of the guys last campaign played a Rune Knight, it's one of the, oh my god, what book's it in? I think it's in Xanathar's. It could be wrong. But anyway, Rune Knights, it's an upgrade to fighter. They are insane. I reckon that could best a paladin if you would have put them against each other. Yeah.
As the additions go on, the new rules come out and they tend to kind of one up each other. So they tend to. Yeah. That's why you end up with new additions after a while. I might just be a basic fighter type.
Ex-soldier, absolutely. Kind of thing. I mean, hopefully it'll give you something, what we spoke about will give you something to think about how you want to proceed. I mean, absolutely. I will put the map in the chat here somewhere. In fact, I could even do that now. Pardon me. If I have it on this computer, because I do have the other computer and it could be there. Campaign 2. Oh no, there it is. Okay, let's see. I'm going to put it in the general chat. Upload a file. Let's see. Map. So that's the regional map. So that's where the bulk of the campaign is going to take place. I'm not saying that it won't go beyond that region, but that's the region we're starting in.
All right.
But absolutely, feel free to. You can go. I would like more information on. I don't know. Anchorstill, Ribbonmore, Porthbray. I'd like more information on those because I'd like to base my character in that potential town. Porthbray is the main city in this region. You might like information on that to base your character there. I am absolutely 100% up for you to tell me because I want your characters to be a part of the world, not just sit them into my world.
Yeah.
If you want to go, well, actually, I came from a village called X, Y, or Z. Outside of this region, or even in this region, you've got, for example, the place called Praz Hal, which is like a massive moorland. You could have a settlement there that you've come from, for example. Feel free to say, well, this is my character. I feel like they came from this settlement. This is why. Any guilds they're a part of, any factions they're a part of, which aren't mentioned by myself, and we can absolutely tie that into the campaign, because that's again, this is what I want to do. Is it's not just me presenting you with a world and you put your characters in it. This is the world, yes, but absolutely you make your mark in it, and this is my person. This is where he's come from, and this is what he's part of. This is what their beliefs are, Gods
That'll
and
probably
deities.
be a bit easier when we played the prologues. We got a better idea about the world.
That's right. Yeah, that's better.
Anyway.
Yeah, it will be a lot easier once you play the prologue. But I don't want to give too much away on that front, because if that's the case, we might as well just talk about it now and not do the prologue. But the idea for me was the prologue was gives you a bit of history on the world, but also a chance just to everyone to break the ice and get in and roll some dice and do that. Because if you jump into the campaign too quickly, you sort of like you don't always get that chance to break the ice properly for a little bit. It might be people aren't comfortable role playing more, or so yeah, that's I don't know if there's anything more I can really cover besides answering questions really on it.
Well, I think I'll lean more towards a basic sort of ex-soldier human fighter, actually.
Yeah.
But so in the prologue, I'm going to be something absolutely batshit crazy to balance that out, if that's all right. Are
No,
there
that's fine.
tieflings in your world? Do we have tieflings?
You can have whichever race you like.
Right, a tiefling sorcerer, just to be the opposite of a human boring fighter.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like I said, my last campaign, I was very strict on races because it was more sci-fi fantasy where there was actually multiple worlds and stuff going on where different races had come from. So I restricted certain things. But no, you can absolutely have whatever you want in this world. There are no restrictions in that respect. Because
Okay.
I did find restricting races sort of back myself into a corner a little bit with storytelling sometimes.
Right, yeah, fair enough.
Well, I mean, when you like come up against a monster and it's like, well, would that monster exist in this setting because I've put restrictions in place on races?
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
Fair enough.
For example, you wouldn't run into goblins and orcs in the last one because they were from a different place, and it's yeah.
But you're going to have some mooks to mash up from time to time.
Exactly.
I think that's why I'll probably start with a bonkers sorcerer type, and then for the main campaign to be pretty neutral.
Yeah, absolutely. I think prologue should probably just be a one shot, maybe like 4 hours or something like that. We should probably cover it all.
Okay.
It's just like I said, setting the scene.
These colleges, was it some like the characters went to as kids and then graduated, or?
Yeah, it's kind of like there's let me see, what did I call them? Is that the one I was talking about? I think they're kind of like an Inquisition, but not quite. And they were called, I think they were called the Light of Chillin or Shillin.
That's lovely.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Paladin Order called the Light of Shillin, and they kind of go about the place, and they're tasked with once anybody starts to show like a promise of arcane knowledge, they'd sort of like maybe be pulled away and taken to an initial school where they would be identified. What sort of person is this? What are they going to be capable of? And that's when they'll be sort of like distributed then to the perhaps Paladin Orders or like a wizarding school or something like that, or even this person's got a bit of a dark aura, let's cast them out to wherever they've come from, or somewhere else where they get picked up by what did I call them, Angmar's Guild for the Dark of Soul, or they become known as Angmarians, and that
I think I went to that school.
and that they become kind of like a lower caste in society. And
So is this a traumatic thing? Do you like get torn away from your family, or is it everyone's like, "Yeah, you're going to Hogwarts"?
No, no, it's not. No, this is very much traumatic.
Okay.
Again, you'll learn this from the prologue why, but it's
okay.
not the best experience to begin with.
Okay.
But yeah.
And
So
was
it's a bit like Black Clover and Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
If you watch anime.
oh, I've heard. I know it.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not.
yeah. Okay.
It's a bit of a dystopian world rather than a utopian world.
Okay.
And of course, it'll be up to you as the heroes to change all that.
Kill everyone. Oh,
Well, yeah, I mean, ultimately, probably kill everyone that's causing
okay.
problems.
Okay.
Hopefully, the ones causing
So,
problems. Anyway,
We'll be discriminate. Don't worry, it's fine.
Would the world shape feat kind of thing work against the magic rules? Is that
druidic sort of stuff. No, again, it depends. If you've gone through the official channels as a druid, then you'd be more than welcome to do what you want within reason in a civilized place. If you've sort of been taken aside to one of the more sort of traditional teachings as a druid, then of course it would be down to your character to exercise caution so they don't draw attention to themselves in a civilized place. But equally, again, you might get away with it. You don't know.
Is there punishment for unlicensed magic? What happens if you're magic missiling someone without a card?
Well, so let's assume you're in one of the towns, and something kicks off, and you, as you say, magic missile someone without a card. The first question would probably be post fight. Obviously, who were you fighting? But what order do you belong to? What guild? That sort of thing. And if it was down to you can't answer that question, perhaps you'd be taken in for further questioning, or you don't know. Again, it's one of those little mysteries.
So they tend to just disappear if they do it.
People who cast willy-nilly will potentially be taken away and, as you say, disappear. But town guards or certainly the larger settlements would have licensed magic users as part of their guild, guard to stop any trouble, that sort of thing. But of course, perhaps you bear a certain insignia for that, or
Okay. That's worth bearing in mind.
It's a bit like if you've ever played, not so much Skyrim, but what was the one before it? Oblivion. Was it Oblivion? Where you couldn't just go shooting off spells in the streets, that sort of thing, without some kind of retribution.
All the animated guards coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got an arrow in his knee.
That's right. It's that kind of idea. Yeah, you will need some reason for doing it, but then that's part of the challenge, isn't it? It's not just I'm an adventurer. I'm going to walk in here and do whatever the hell I want. It's no, there are repercussions to your actions, and you need to think rather than just do. Because this was one of the big things I had in my previous group was there wasn't an awful lot of thinking that went on. It was just draw swords and do. And I kept trying to push them down the road of, no, come on, think. You need to really think about how you're going to act. But it was always, nope, we're swanning into this town and we're going to do whatever the hell we want. And I was like, it's not how society works, though, is it?
There's an old term for that style of play, which is murder hobos.
Yeah, that's right.
You move into town, you murder everyone, you steal all their stuff, you move out.
Yeah. I kept trying to push them so far away from it, but never happened. So this time I'm trying to go down the road of please think about your actions.
No campaign survives contact with the players. That's
well, no, I'm sure we'll get to episode 1 and it'll just derail within 5 seconds. But
it would be very kind.
That's how these things go, isn't it?
Okay, that sounds interesting. I think we'll have a better idea when we played the prologue.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll have a better idea at least about what sort of backstory I might want for my. I'll try not to. I do tend to kind of write stuff, and it's not that. In the end, it's probably not.
Well,
that.
no, because I'm quite happy for that. Because please do overwrite stuff, because then it gives us plenty to explore in
bounce
terms of
off.
story arcs and how that character really fits in, and perhaps that will open up creation for a whole new thing that I haven't even thought about. You know, groups out there that I hadn't thought about, or and it can set, you know, and that will fit into the story. No problem at all. We'll find a way of fitting it in and
That
exploring
wasn't a
it.
promise that I was going to overwrite.
Feel free to overwrite.
My free time. Okay, yeah, cool. Well, that sounds like we might have a start of a party, sort of a fighter and a druid. Might work well.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I think so.
With
yeah.
the Star Druid, obviously they get. I think it's level 8. They get flight. What's your? My DM did not like flight at all.
That's a cool power.
It is.
Yeah, no problem at all. I've played long enough. I will find a way around any powers you try to chuck at me that's becoming a pain in the ass.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, another anti-magic field. That's a shame.
I will find a way around your powers. Don't you worry.
Low ceilings. Sharp fans.
Exactly.
I like it.
Cool.
All right. So should we? Do you want us to make like session 0 characters, or what would you like us to do? Or...
At this point,
I say 5th ed, I'm not that experienced with, but I could probably manage making a character at least.
if you just want to create a chuck away character for the prologue, because that will really give you, I mean, with the information I give you now, as well, obviously that'll get the cogs turning. You'll start to think, well, maybe I'll create this. Obviously, as I said, because of the restrictions in the world, that might have now re-influenced you in how you want to create your campaign character. But have fun. Create something absolutely balmy for the prologue, because that's your chance to just go, I'm going to create something nuts, and you can be as nuts as you like in the prologue. Don't care.
And is that a first level character in the prologue?
Yeah, it's nothing
Yeah.
serious. It's just the story more than anything.
Okay, cool.
Do you want to go through character creation for 5th E?
It would help me to briefly go through it. I mean, I think it's pretty much similar to my other. The last I played was 3rd ed, not even 3.5. Last D&D I played. I have played 5th ed.
Yeah.
4th ed. Ugh. No one talks about 4th ed, do they?
I don't think so.
4th ed somewhere. But, I've got
Okay.
World of Warcraft as well, and that's a better game than 4th ed.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I must admit, I enjoy World of Warcraft.
It's good. I wouldn't turn it into Dungeons and Dragons though. But
No,
anyway,
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I can talk you through some character creation. Where is it? There it is. Player's Handbook. Have you got a copy of the Player's Handbook?
I've got the. I don't know if there's been an update or what have you. That's the one I've got.
Yeah, that is the current version of it. Have you
Alright.
a blank character sheet?
No.
Okay.
I could get one.
D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond is fine, except for one little problem. Unless you own, at the very least, the Player's Handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guide, it doesn't give you all of the basic options to create a character.
Oh.
Which is a failing on their part. But, you know, they want you to buy the materials digitally, don't they? But... Part one, page 9 is creating a character. It does talk you through it, but there are a few little things where you do flick backwards and forwards. Have you got the Dungeon Master's Guide as well for physical?
No, I haven't. No.
You haven't. Okay, that's fine. I mean, to be honest, let's see.
Sorry, groin shot. I'm just standing up to turn my printer on.
Okie dokie. Well, you're going to need a set of dice to create a character. Is this going to be your prologue character, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe. Yeah, I'll set up a prologue character, so to speak. That would be good. Um,
I could
Right,
do
let
having
me
a
try.
character sheet available to me. Oops, what was it? I just chucked on the floor. A pen.
Don't need all those pages.
Let me
I'll
see.
just do the first one. Uh,
Oh no, that's all different. That's no good. That's a different book entirely. Cool. Okay. Let me get a character sheet so I can see what he looks like to remind myself.
I've got the official Wizards one. Oh, it's form fillable. Look at that.
Yeah,
I don't
so
need
I've
to
got
print
it here
much
as
more.
well. Right. Okay. Let's start with
Oh, I
step
didn't need to print
number
it off then.
1. So the first thing you want to do is choose a race and a class.
All right. Well, I'll stick with my Tiefling Sorcerer, I reckon.
Tiefling Sorcerer. Okie dokie. Well, that's going to set a few things up for us already. Hit points and hit dice. Let's have a look.
Look at me printing it off like an old man. And you can fill it in. Oh dear. All right.
Let's find Tieflings. Tieflings 42. This is going to require some flicking about. Do you know what? Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to print off a character sheet and we'll do it together.
Oh.
Because it's going to be a lot easier than me flicking backwards and forwards and not having an actual visual representation of what's going on.
There are some things where paper's better.
5e character.
Maybe I'll fill in the PDF for my main character, but I'll scribble this one down. How about that? That sounds like a plan.
That's a proper character sheet. Yes, it is. Let's print it, please. Oh, God, I don't want someone's life story. Just give me a character sheet I can print. Print. Oh, I don't want that either. Oh, sod it, that's going to do. Copies 127. No, I don't want 27 sheets. Just the first page will
An
do me.
expensive mistake, isn't it?
Right, that page will do the job. Thank you very much. Right, excuse me while I go to the printer.
Let me find a bit on how to make a character. I don't even really know what a tiefling is. But let's try
My
it.
bard was a thiefing. So.
Oh, was he? They're like little horny guys. Not that kind, though.
Infernals?
Oh, right, yeah, they could have been touched by demons.
Yes.
Not in that way, again.
They're either touched by demons or their parents have. They have heritage with.
Okay, so they're like half demon things.
Yes.
Okay.
If you could see the size of what I'm working with. Right, okay. So we know you're going to play a tiefling. We know you're going to play a sorcerer.
Yes, what do we get?
So-
+1 int, +2 charisma by the looks of it.
Yes, you certainly do. So the best thing to start off with is actually your ability scores and then their modifiers. So
Okay, yep.
you can take the standard array or you can roll for it.
Oh, right, I can't resist it.
I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, you roll 66 and you pick
Isn't it 4d6 and pick the best 3?
Yeah. So
roll 4c6 and pick the best 3.
All right, and do they go where they land, or do I put them where I want?
So you put them into what you think they should be in. So the highest, obviously, being probably for your tiefling intelligence or charisma.
charisma.
Charisma, yeah, I think sorcerers are charismatic types. All right. 13. I'm going for it.
So you're going to do it 6 times.
12. Stunning rolls so far. 8. Flipping out. All right, that's my strength. Sorted. 11. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I thought it was going to be a 17 for a minute. No, it's a 13. All
So,
right, and last one. No, that's 6. You're right.
so if you want to assign those, and I will tell you what the modifier is, plus the obviously the racial benefits.
Right, if I go. Yeah, you say charisma for sorcerers, James.
No, no, sorry, I'm thinking bard.
Let me have a look. Let me have a look.
Out sorcerer. Page 99. I think you
Constitution and charisma. Oh no, that's saving throws. Charisma. Yeah,
Intelligence. Your spell attack modifier is your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier, so you want to go intelligence.
Oh. Okay. I'll do it. Alright. 13 in. 13 charisma.
Or am I looking at the wrong thing? Oh, hold on. I might be looking at the wrong page.
I think it is.
I'm looking at the wrong page. Sorry. Yes, I am. Constitution, charisma for saving throws. Spell. Where is your spell casting? Yes, you are right. Charisma. Sorry, I was looking at what page the hell was I looking at? Page 98. Oh, there we are. That's the problem.
Fair enough. Alright. And then, because I'm a tiefling, I get +1 int. That puts me up to 13 int.
Have you got your
15.
modifiers for your scores?
Let me just put me up, and then I'll. Alright, you could tell me, because I haven't got. Oh, wait, I found it.
Page
So-
13 at the top right.
So strength will be a -1 modifier, dex will be nothing, con will be +1, int will be +1, wisdom will be nothing, and charisma +2. Alright?
And
That's
then
right.
have you put your racial benefits on top as well?
Yeah, I've jiggled that into my charisma.
Sweet. Cool. So we've done that. That's the first sort of bit. Proficiency bonus. Table appears in your class and shows your proficiency bonus, which is +2 for a first level character. So +2 is your proficiency bonus.
Alright.
Let's see. So sorcerer. Hit dice is 1d6 per sorcerer level. So you get a 1d6. So I'm not sure.
I think you usually start at max at first level. I could be wrong.
So yeah, hit dice 1d6. Your hit points at first level is 6 plus your con mod.
7 then.
Cool.
Alright.
So your HP is 7. Hit dice, I don't know if you're familiar with them, if you've played older editions. Hit dice, basically on a short rest, you can roll however many hit dice you have. They go up.
Yes, that makes
They go up per level to basically say you're level 3, you should have 3 hit dice. You can expend 1, 2, or 3 to get hit points back.
Yeah, short rest, yeah.
So let me just have a quick look at tieflings and see if I'm making sure I'm not missing anything. There's a lot of flicking backwards and forwards when you create a character.
Yeah, I don't know tieflings at all. Sorry, so this is like.
No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. 40.
Just since fire damage.
Ability score increases we know about. Speed. You have base speed of 30 feet. You have dark vision. You have resistance to fire damage.
Lovely.
It doesn't matter right now, but you have Infernal Legacy. But I mean, that's kind of
That's not going to
irrelevant.
matter, is it
It's not
really?
going to
No.
matter, no. So let's go back to Sorcerer. Your proficiencies. You are not proficient in armor, which means you have a natural armor class, which is
Right, yeah.
which is 12.
Doesn't sound very good.
No, it's not really.
Do I get my? Oh, I haven't got a dex bonus.
It's because you can't wear armor, so I think it's 10 plus your base proficiency. If I remember it correctly, it's 10 plus base, which is always 12. So it's
Yeah,
always going to be
that's
12.
that's a yeah. That base proficiency is a good one. I don't think that was in
Um,
other editions, but that's a good one.
You're proficient with daggers, darts, slings. I mean, you've got the player's handbook, so I mean, you can
Yeah,
see
so
this
I can
stuff.
think yeah.
Rather than going through what you can already look it up, what parts of the character sheet do you think I don't know?
I think it'll be all right actually with proficiencies. It's just a more refined version of 3, I think. So I reckon I'll be all right now. I've got the stat.
You got speed. Initiative box stays. Initiative is, oh my god, it's your dex bonus basically.
Yeah. Do you get your proficiency as well, or is that just your dex? Yeah.
Just your dex for initiative.
Okay.
Proficiency goes into weapon attacks. So, for example, if you were a fighter, you get strength plus proficiency plus your roll to the to hit value, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Saving throws, it does give you specific. So if you look at sorcerer, saving throws, constitution and charisma. So you put your constitution and charisma bonuses in there.
Oh yeah.
But your skills, you choose 2 from Arcana, Deception, Insight, Intimidation, Persuasion, and Religion. So, for example, on that list of skills, you'll go, maybe I want to have Arcana and Deception. You'll put your proficiency bonus in those.
And your stat bonus, yeah.
Based on whether it's Wisdom, Intelligence, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
And that's what you're particularly good at.
Definitely having deception.
I think passive wisdom, passive perception. That one's always a pain in the ass to calculate. What was it off the top of my head? Let's Google it real quick. Passive perception calculation. It is passive perception. There's not another one there, is there? Measures the perception.
No.
Passive perception is calculated by 10 plus all modifiers that would apply. So that would be perception then.
All right. Which I haven't got.
Character. Such as the wisdom modifier and proficiency bonus. So,
all right. So nothing for me, basically. It'd just be 10.
Are you 0 on wisdom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very a short-lived, unwise sorcerer.
That's fine.
Okay. I think
fine.
I'll grab deception and something else.
I think I'm correct in that. Yeah. Cool. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? Obviously, spells.
Yeah, I'll have a flick through. I know 2, and then I can cast them whenever I like.
You've got. I mean, when you go into the book, page 102 onwards, you've got Sorceress Origins. That probably starts at level 3.
Okay.
Level 4. Yeah.
What is the source of my? Oh yeah, I get something at first level, so I'll pick. Oh, got to be wild magic. Okay, definitely wild magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always good fun.
Wild magic
right.
surge. Yeah, that's fine. If you do have any, like, what does that mean? Just let me know. And
It's all sounding vaguely familiar.
It's fairly straightforward. If you've done it before, it's fairly straightforward. There is a little bit of googling here and there because some of it is well buried within the player's handbook, and it is just quicker to go on Google and go, where is it? Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll round up. I'll work out the spells and everything. That won't take too long. Okay, cool.
I mean, it mentions in the stat block how many spells you get of what level anyway to start with. It's probably 2 cantrips
four
and 4 cantrips.
4 cantrips, 2 spells.
Oh, there you go.
And then
there you go.
2 spells. Lots a day. I'll just double check how sorcerers were. It used to be they didn't have to memorize. They just zap them off. But I'll double check.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's just down to having an arcane focus. Oh, that's the other thing I'm going to mention. Actually, now we're talking about spellcasters. One thing I hate is I stick to verbal, somatic, and material for spellcasting. So, for example, if you're gagged, you couldn't
Yeah.
use a verbal spell. But
Yeah.
what I detest is people going. Someone goes, "I'm going to cast this spell," and the DM goes, "Ah, but do you have 1,000 gold pieces worth of ruby gem dust?"
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my view
Kills
is
the mood a bit, doesn't it?
my view is this: if you are a spellcaster in your downtime in a civilized place, you are going to go out there and find the things you need to be able to cast the spells you need to cast. So I do not penalise people going, "Have you actually got that material that you need?" Because I think that is utter bullshit. It's the same as travel rations and stuff like that. If I send you on a quest, which I know is like in game time, it's going to take you a month to get there. You know, I will go. Have you made sure you've stocked up your whatever method of transport with enough rations to get there? Have you checked
No,
the?
you starve to death after.
Yeah, exactly. Have you done that? For example, I might have an NPC go, "Oh, it's pretty nippy where you're going. Have you got winter clothes?" Because obviously, cold can affect things like exhaustion. But yeah, I'll give you little hints, but I'm not going to go, you know, for a 2-day travel down the road. Did you stock up on rations? You know, or have you got the right spell components? I don't play that way. It just seems stupid. But yeah, there you go. All right, cool. Well, if there's anything else you want to ask, otherwise, should we just wrap it up there and then?
Yeah, sounds good. I'll finish up my character and then we'll see when we can meet up.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're all happy to travel, I say we can sit in my conservatory. I live in Landrake, so I'm just the other side of Saltash.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just in Devonport. So.
yeah, not too
Yeah,
far away.
I'm in Stoke. It's not too bad.
Yeah. We can always mix it up and go to other people's houses as well if you want to.
I have a 1-bedroom, 36 square foot. No, I can't do it here.
No, that's fine. Well, like I say, I have a conservatory we can play in. The winter months might be challenging, but
I could host here as well.
Yeah,
so we'll be
yeah.
all right.
Cool. All right, then, chaps. I shall leave you to it. Thanks very much for joining me. And once
Thank you
Tanya's
very much.
fitting well, we'll look at getting started.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Nice to meet
guys.
you both.
Yeah, and you, mate.
See you in a bit.
Take care then.
Bye.
Cheers, then.
Bye.
Ooh, how do I stop this? I can't. Ah. Oh my goodness, what have I done? Ah!